Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Intro to Web Development. I'm your host, Creative Builds. In the last video, we covered all the basic concepts we need to know before starting any web development. Now it's time for the real stuff. In HTML, we make use of these things called tags. HTML tags are the keywords used in a web page that define how your web browser must format and display the content. Think of these tags as the 2x4s in your house, which make the basis for how it should be shaped. Before anything else, you'll want to pick up a good IDE that suits your tastes. For me personally, I use Visual Studio Code, and that's what I'm going to be using throughout the entire series. You can find a download link to it down in the description below. With that out of the way, we have to start the whole thing off with an HTML tag. This tag defines the whole document as an HTML file. Most tags must have two parts, an opening and a closing part. For example, HTML is the opening tag and /HTML is the closing tag. Next, let's insert the head tag. This contains any code that is not used to display elements on the web page, which means this area is considered as a storage area for metadata, not visual content. Now let's use a new tag called link. This tag is used as a link to the external style sheets or CSS. We write the tag like this because it contains attributes which reference our main CSS file. Notice the rel attribute. This specifies the relationship between the current document and the linked document. In this case, it says style sheet because we are referencing a CSS file. In this case, it rests in the same folder as our index.html file. For now, we're going to leave this here, but we'll elaborate on it later. Now we're done with the head section of our code, but don't forget to close it with /head. It's time to start on the body. Use the opening tag body to indicate the beginning of the section. The body is where the content of the document is placed. This includes any visual content like text, images, or videos. Here's where we can input a heading. Headings are defined by using H and then a number either 1 through 6. H1 produces the biggest text indicating the most important heading. H6 produces the smallest text suitable for a heading and indicates the least important one. Start with the opening tag H1 and insert the text you want to be displayed on your heading. In this case, let's put in the words "Hello World." Fun fact, the words "Hello World" originally came from the book C Programming Language written by Brian Kernighan. When asked why he came up with those words, he answered that he wasn't really sure. All that he remembers is that he saw a cartoon of an egg and a chick, and the chick was saying "Hello World." Apparently that caught on, and now we just use that everywhere within the programming world. Back to our code though, don't forget to put the closing tag on the heading. Do so with /h1. We're not putting anything else into the code yet, so let's close the body part of our script with /body. For now, that's it for our HTML file. Since we're through with HTML, the structure of our house, it's time to splash some paint on with CSS. If you drag your HTML file over to your browser, you'll see that the text is currently black and bland on a white and equally bland background. How about we start with something simple and just invert the color? We'll have a black background and some white text. What does that look like in CSS world? To get started, create a file called main.css. This is the same file name that we had inside of our link tag inside the HTML file. Open it up, and the first thing we're going to do is type the word body. This is because we're indicating to the CSS file that we want to alter how the body looks in the HTML file. To give you a clear image, let's start with the background color. Put curly brackets down and then type background-color. Colors can be described in either hex, which is 0 through 9 and A through F, or RGBA, which stands for red, green, blue, and alpha. For this web page, we'll be setting the background to black by simply typing in #000,000. That's how black's represented in hex. Then we set the text color to white. If you wanted to do this in hex, it would be #FFFFFF. In RGBA, this is how you do it. You say RGBA 255, 255, 255, and 1. This is saying that you want the maximum amount of red, green, and blue. And when you have the maximum amount of all those colors, you get white. When you have none of those colors, you get black. And don't forget, always remember to put a semicolon when you end a line of the code, otherwise it wouldn't be applied in the output and may cause some errors on your page. Let's stop there now for our CSS script, and here's how the site looks with our present script. That's it for today. In the next episode of Intro to Web Dev, we'll continue building our website. We'll be talking more about adding images and making a more stylized website. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed and learned from this video. Stay tuned for more and don't forget to join our community by subscribing. Until the next episode, keep learning, keep coding.